Om Swastiastu. Hello everyone, my name is Sankurio Putra Freitas with student ID 22055311103, and in this presentation I will presenting about chapter 5 ferrous metal and alloy production, general properties and application. I'm from mechanical engineering Udayana University from class Logam Paduan Industri. Um, Okay, so for the introduction, as you can see here, ferrous metal is iron-based alloy. So ferrous are make based on iron, and it has advantages such as low cost, wide range properties, and it has like advantage from mechanical, physical, and chemical properties. And uh, the main type of the ferrous metal are carbon steel, alloy steel, stainless steel, tool steel, cast iron, and etc. And it's mostly used for uh, sheet steel such as cars, appliances, and containers, plates such as for boilers, ships, and bridges, and also structural parts for beams, shaft, and rails, and also tools and dies and molds also. So and also for rods and wires such as bolts, rivets, nuts, and staples. So the carbon steels are the least expensive between any other ferros. It's make up 70 to 85% of the component. Okay, so the three basic material in iron steel are iron ore, limestone, and coke, and it does not occur in nature state, and it's the iron is the most abundant element in the world, making up like 5% of the Earth's crust. Okay, next. Okay, so the production of iron and steel, as you can see here, we have iron, as I said in the previous, iron ore are the main source of the iron, hematite, limonite, and taconite. Coke provide heat and reducing gas, and limestone is remove impurity. And here iron ore are going to the pellets and sinter, and limestone is crushed, and then the coal is getting into the coke oven, and it going into the gas uptake, and then blast furnace. The three raw material are getting tossed into the blast furnace, and the operation is called like charging furnace. A blast furnace is basically a large steel cylinder lined with huge brick, and it has a height of 10-story building, so it's really big. And the charged mixture is melt with reaction at 1650 Celsius, and with the air preheated is about 1100 Celsius. Uh, so the blast furnace is convert ore into molten iron or pig iron, and in the steel making furnace on the figure 5.2, we can see the electric furnace, arc and induction, direct arc and indirect arc, and also it can produce high quality steel. Basic oxygen furnace or BOF is the fastest and most common efficient, and the vacuum furnace is remove impurity and uh, produce high grade steel. Uh, so uh, so for the electric furnace, the source of heat is continuous electric arc between the electrodes and the charged metal, and the temperature can reach about 1925 Celsius, and uh, generated in this type of furnace. Uh, so it can melt it in the large graphite electrode around 2 hours. Okay, so for the basic oxygen furnace, in order to making the most common and the fastest, it can I think pure oxygen will it can produce a lot of metals here. Okay, next. Okay, now is the casting of ingots. So in the casting of ingots, the molten steel is poured into molds, uh, like in the figure A, in the figure 5.3 in A. So the charging scrap into the furnace and the charging molten iron into the furnace, and then addition of burnt lime. So molten steel is poured into mold, solidifies as ingots. And there are types of ingots: skilled steel, fully dioxides, uniform properties, semi-skilled steel, partial porosity and economical, rime steel, ductile skin, good surface finish but impurity inside. And the refining is to remove the impurity of the improved quality. So so the killed steel is full dioxide, meaning the oxygen is removed to eliminate the porosity. Elements such as aluminum, silicon, mangan, or vanadium are added to react with dissolved oxygen. Uh, and then the semi-skilled steel is partially dioxide steel, and it contains some porosity, and but it has little or no pipe. As a result, the scrap is reduced, although the piping is semi-skilled steel, and this advantage is offset by the presence of porosity in that region. So the third is rime steel. In a rime steel, which generally has a low carbon content, uh, it evolved gas only partially killed by the addition of the element such as aluminum. The gases produce blowholes along the outer rim of the ingot, and in the term rim still have little or no piping, and they have a ductile skin with a good surface finish. And then refining, as you can see here, removal of the impurity to improve the quality. So remove the impurity and inclusion to improve the property of the ferrous alloy. So it's mainly done in furnace or leadless by adding elements. Okay, next is continuous casting. As you can see here, we have figure 5.4. This is electric furnace, and it poured into the TARDIS, and from the TARDIS it poured and out, and as you can see here, from A to B. Uh, it's need to alternative to ingots, continue casting, improve quality and reduce cost, produce uniform steel directly into slabs, billets, or blooms. Advantage is less scraps and better mechanical properties and efficiency. So the continuous casting is first developed for non-ferrous metal, and continuously cast metal is cut by searing or torch cutting, or fed directly into rolling mills for shapes like channels and L-beam. It's cheaper and has more uniform property than for carbon. So there are some few or advantage here. Next. So this is the table 5.1 for carbon and alloy steel. This is alternative to ingots, continuous casting, improve quality and reduce costs. So here we have the products such as aircraft forgings, and we use steel 4140 or 8740, and the product is gears for cars and truck, and the steel is 4027 or 4032. So there is a lot of kind of steel for a lot of kind of products, so you can choose the most product that needed to find the advantages. So the advantages is really various like in the first that I said that every steel have their own mechanical properties. Next. Okay, the next is residual. So during the steel and refining process, there are some residual elements that still remain, such as antimony and arsenic, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, and tin. So it's need to be refined, and I think it can be more good if the residual is getting removed. So it would give a lot of advantages. So next. Okay, so for the designation for steel, there are in America Society for Testing Material or STM, there is a design for system which called IC and SIE, and this is the design followed. Um, the present numbering system is known as UNS and has been adopted widely by Pharaohs. So its typical designation are followed with the G, K, S, and T. G is for IC and SIE carbon alloy steel. G is for cast steel. K is for stainless steel and ferrous alloy. And S for stainless steel. T is for tool steel. Two examples are G for 1300 for IC for IC 4130 alloy steel, and etc. So next for the carbon steel, there are like the table 5.2, the machinability, firmability, and weldability such as steels are described in various chapters throughout this text, and it's resulting in the three type of carbon steel, such as uh, low carbon steel, medium carbon steel, and high carbon steel. So low carbon steel is also called mild steel, and it has less than zero point zero 0.03. It less than 0.3, and it's often used for common industrial products such as bolts, nuts, sheets, plates, and tubes. And for a machine component, it do not require high strength. For the second one is the medium carbon steel. Medium carbon steel has 0.3 to 0.6% of carbon, so it's generally used in the application requiring higher strength than is available in low carbon steel. And the third is high carbon steel, has more 0.6 carbon, and it requiring strength, hardness, and wear resistance, such as cutting tools, cable, or etc. Next, and alloy steel. So the steel containing significant amount of alloying, such as combination, and made more core than the carbon steel. Structural grade alloy are used mainly, and we can see the steel can be heat and treated to obtain the desired properties. Next, so this is the high strength high strength low alloy steel. In order to improve the strength to weight ratio of steel, the number of high strength and low alloy steel HSLA have been developed the first in the 1930. So this is the comparison of advanced high strength steel. So you can see here, the X is showing tensile strength MPa, and the Y is showing total elongation. So the more high the total elongation is, the more low strength of the material or the steels, such as the interstitial free, uh, and the more ultra high strength material is the more tensile strength or MPa in the martensitic. So as you can see here, the HSLA is in the middle of high strength steels. It's around 500, etc. And here's the table uh, of the mechanical properties selected high strength steel, and there are minimum ultimate strength or MPa, and it's start with the highest strength hardening exponent 0.18 uh, until the lowest 0.065. And the table 5.4 is IC designation for high strength sheet steel, and the ultimate tensile strength in MPa are BH or bake hardenable, HSLA or high strength low alloy, DP and or dual phase strip for transformation induced plasticity, TWIPE twinning induced plasticity, MART or martinistics, and CP for complex phase. Okay, next. So this is the ultra high strength steel. DP, TRIP, TWIP, CP, and martinistic is mostly used for car industry, and this is in this figure 5.6. It's used for chassis car. So it's the main body of the car are made by steel. The most part of it is mild steel, and the rest is DP with 15%, HSLA with 500 with 1%, HSLA 350 with 12%, and HSLA 250 with 13%. Okay, the next is the stainless steel. This is the mechanical properties and typical application of the selected annealed stainless steel at the room temperature. Uh, so there are many AC or UNS steel here from 303 to 416, and the high chromium content more than 10 to 12% is form protective oxide layer for corrosion resistance. So there is a lot of advantage such as austenitic for ductile, non-magnetic, kitchen and chemical equipment, ferritic for magnetic, modern corrosion resistant used in the automotive trim, metallistic for hardenable, strong and used in cutlery tools, precipitation or hardening, strong corrosion resistant and aerospace application, duplex for mix of ferrite and austenite, used in heat exchangers, water treatment, and the tool and die steels. So as you can see here, there are some of the tool and die steel here in the table 5.5. There are austenitic 200 and 300, and it's generally composed of chromium and nickel and manganese in iron. So they are non-magnetic and have excellent corrosion resistance. Ferritic, and it's similar from the previous slide. Uh, the the advantage of um, the steel. So it has several advantages. So the table 5.6, there are some type of high speed, hot work, cold work, shock resisting mold, special purpose, and water hardening, such as molybdenum base, tungsten base. It is for high speed. Hot work is H1 to H19 chromium base, and also until H59 molybdenum base, and etc. as you can see in the table. And also uh, for the tools and die steels. Uh, you can see a design for high strength, impact, toughness, and wear resistance at room elevated temperature. So the table 5.6 is the desirable mechanical properties that you can apply in the certain condition. And also table 5.7, and in the table uh, 5 point sorry back and in the table 5.7, there are most alloy tool and die steel first developed in early 900, and they have high speed steel tools can be coated with titanium nitride and titanium carbide for improved wear resistance. And also the die steels can have high toughness as well as high resistance to wear and cracking. So that's the advantages. And this is the table 5.8. This is several process of the material, such as the die casting is for H13 and P20. Powder metallurgy such as punches and dies are for A2, S7, D2, D3, and M2. And dies are for WC and D2 and M3. And until it's deep drawing machining, carbide, high-speed steel, and ceramic diamond cubic boron nitride. So that's it, and it's the source. The source is Manufacturing and Engineering Technology, the 6th edition by Serope Kalpajian and Stephen R. Smith. So I think that's it for my presentation. Thank you for watching, and bye.